Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at the Wolverine Marvel Legends Emma Frost figure. A lot of people have been dying, not literally, but waiting patiently, let's just put it that way, for a new Emma Frost figure since the first one was less than ideal, I think is a good way to put that. This one isn't necessarily going to disappoint, but I think there are some things people might not care for. The first being that she doesn't have a cape of any sort. I know a lot of people were saying, hey, we should get a cape with this figure, but we don't. So that's a bit of a problem. It does have a pretty good sculpt, a couple of new things going on, and it's a decent figure. I do recommend it. I like it. It's just not perfect, and since this is a review, I'll tell you why it's not perfect. First thing is she stands 6.5 inches tall. It's mostly built on the female Shield Agent body, and you guys know if you collect these figures that body's a little bit tall for a female, but it's okay. It's still a decent sculpt. Newly sculpted chest, and I have to say, and I can't really say this without sounding like a pervert, but they did a good job on the boobies. They are sculpted pretty well, and maybe even a bit more so than I would have expected, and I suspect that might have something to do with the online exclusivity. I'm not sure the toy stores wanted the big ol' boobies in the toy aisle. It's just a guess. I don't know, because wrestling figures sometimes have the same thing going on, but it's just a hunch I have that it might have played into part of that decision. I don't know, you guys tell me. So let's move on to the rest of the figure. The paintwork is okay. It's really only the two colors, the white and then the skin color, plus the painting on the head, which is kind of a problem for me. Maybe it isn't for you guys, but she needs some more yellow in her hair. There's a little bit of white coming through, and I don't know if it was molded in white. It's just a hunch. Maybe it's molded in a really pale yellow. That's what it looks like. So it looks like that paleness is coming through a little bit more than it should, but it's not horrible, and there is some shading, and the sculpt is really good in the hair. So I do like it. The face, I think, is a really good sculpt. I think the problem that people are saying it looks a little funny is the paintwork on the eyes. If the eyes were painted just a little bit more toward the center, or if the black lines around the eyes came more to the center, I think it would look better to more people. I think it's a pretty good sculpt though, and definitely not a bad paint job. She has silver lipstick, which I think is kind of cool, and the eyebrows are painted on nicely. So it's a pretty good head sculpt. I'm not complaining about it, and paintwork. It is just one of these, and that shows you that she has the little necklace thingy, choker, I don't know what that's called, neck band on there. Of course, being just a ball peg, the head is pretty limited in articulation. It swivels okay. If you get the hair over the shoulder, you can make the head look down just a little bit more, and that improves the look of the figure so that she's not just kind of stuck looking semi-upward. It's okay by me though. I think also if you wanted to, you could trim out a little bit underneath the chin there. Do that at your own risk though, be careful. And that would probably increase the articulation a little bit. She has ball hinged shoulders, nothing new here. Hinged elbow with the swivel, same thing as the Shield Agent. It's actually the exact same thing as Jean Grey, the newest one that we've gotten. Wrist swivel, wrist pivot, fist in this hand, open hand on this side. So exactly like Jean Grey. She does have the diaphragm joint here, just like the Shield Agent, because the torso is the exact same, even though the upper part is newly sculpted. Leans back a little bit. You can see they sculpted the clothing, which is nice. I'm so glad it's not just painted. They sculpted the little ties back there. Doesn't lean forward too far, but it does go a little bit, and the swivel is just fine. No waist twist. She has a little belt thingy going on, and then that's just painted, but the belt hides it, so that's okay. She has these weird wide-jointed hips that are basically ball hinges with a swivel, but they're not really made like any of the other hinges on any of the other figures. So they're a little bit different, but they are effective. You can get pretty much any pose you want out of her with relatively little ease. Those aren't the best hips as far as a customizer is concerned, because they're joint rub nightmare, paint rub nightmare, but on a figure like this, it's not too much of a problem. Same thighs as the Shield Agent, double jointed knees still. She has the new lower legs, which is nice sculpt, and then she has new feet, which is high heels or whatever those are. I don't know. I don't wear them. I don't know what they're called. They're heels of some sort, and they're not short, but they actually are sculpted pretty well. This one was warped in the package, but a little hot water will fix that, and she can stand on her own, but if she can't, if you have trouble, she has peg holes in her feet. The only problem with that is She doesn't come with a stand of any sort, so you're going to have to either steal Wolverine's stand or get your own, but then you'll be just fine. Like I said though, she can stand, so don't freak out too much when you see the heels. She'll be okay as long as you take some time to pose her. So there she is. There's Emma Frost. I like the figure personally. Is it perfect? Maybe not. It could have used a cape, and a couple things here and there could be better, but it's pretty darn good, and I like it, and I recommend it. It's miles and miles better. That's a bad comparison. It's way better than the original Emma Frost. It's not even close in comparison. This is way better. So pick it up if you collect Legends. No reason not to. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.